Darren McCarty and the golden voice of Neal Ruhl. Sit back and relax. It's time for your daily dose of Big D energy.
Yo, welcome back, everybody. Big D Energy.
Big D!
Right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Neal Ruhl. That guy, he's back. He's tanned. He's ready. Darren McCarty, four-time Stanley Cup champion, back from Florida. We have Sam Flannel. We have Spencer Raxter. We have all of you on the WoodwardSports.com chat thread. I have my iced coffee from Birmingham Roast that was purchased by the one and only Darren McCarty.
And I apologize, it wasn't waiting for you here, sir. I knew there was no sugar. I didn't know how much extra cream. So if you know, that is a cream coffee with iced coffee in it.
That is absolutely it.
And he got that because of his Edmonton Oilers.
Hey.
Riding high, which right now, Tammy, sorry, Boston Bruins. Yeah, exactly.
I'm not sorry.
No, I'm not sorry either.
I tried to tell you people.
Listen, we're not here to probably talk hockey, everybody, but the fact is NHL playoffs on point as usual as far as must-see TV. I mean, the Islanders did it in Game 7 last night. They moved on, so I had to listen to Tom Masaway cry all pregame and stuff like that. So exciting for the playoffs. Stick around to the end. Stick around to the end because I do have something very, very, very important for the Wing-Wheeled Nation at the end of the show. So at about 12:50, we'll get back in. I got one more hockey thing to do, but
hell yeah.
You know what? NHL playoffs.
They've been
kudos. Oh, and by the way,
they always
by
are,
the
yeah.
way, if you have not seen the Jacob Trouba hit on Timo Meier, I tweeted about it at Darren McCarty 4 last night after Paul Biznasty tweeted. But I was there for when Scott Stevens, that was a typical Scott Stevens steamroll of Kozlov, except the one thing I forgot to say is I could still smell the sulfur in the air at that game. So the fact that was the only, I guess, shining light for any Rangers fans.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Jump into there. Detroit Dabber 313 first in. Says, what up, doe? Big Play Jay with the what up, doe as well. Happy to have you all with us. So jump in there. Get your thoughts out there. There were a couple of draft angles that, quite simply, I couldn't get to yesterday. We didn't have enough time. That show yesterday could have went for 6 hours.
It was a great show by you and Terry, and always interesting and great points made by either or. And I tend to agree a little bit with you, and I tend to agree a little bit with Terry. I sort of sit down the middle from where you guys are. So I'm happy you didn't get to all the topics that I was thinking that you saved a few for me.
I did, and I have a couple of questions. The Hendon Hooker debate. I have an absolute, and I think I got him, Spence. You know how I like to do this from time to time. I think I got the people this time, Spence. Not you per se.
Okay.
I think I got the people, and I love this. I live for this.
Yeah, you do.
I do. God, I can't wait. We're gonna get to that coming up in about 20 minutes or so. I heard this bantied about on the Sports Talk airwaves yesterday, Sirius XM, locally as well. And you know what? Like, other media entities rip the stuff we do, so you know what? I'm going to rip the stuff they do.
There you go.
The difference is I'm upfront about it because I thought it was a great topic, and great topics are great topics. And D-Mac, I know which way this is going to go. I know it already. But I'm curious to see if the people can give some introspective thought about it. People were discussing, should Mel Kiper be in the Football Hall of Fame? Now before we get into this a little bit, remember, John Clayton's in the Hall of Fame, which is pretty much the same.
Well, do they have a broadcasting wing, or do they have a media wing?
Yeah, they have like media people
because in the
that get in
NHL
there.
Hall of Fame, they have like a broadcasting wing and guys who have voices, Doc Emmerich, Foster Hewitt, stuff like this. Impact to the game of football, if there's a category just like the builders category and stuff like this where we tell why not? I mean, it's not about accuracy, right?
No, but
no, it's about contribution to the game of football, and
he advanced the draft. Like Mel Kiper, I won't say he's the only reason behind it, but he's the face of the NFL draft. Like, let's be real. We mock him and we laugh at him and we laugh at the hair and the Dracula hair and all that stuff. but make no mistake, he's as much a father of the NFL draft as anybody else is.
Well, and that's the reason why. I think you'd have to. I think that in today, 2023, he might just be another talking head to a lot of younger viewers and stuff. But go down the rabbit hole and take it back, and for his duration, for how many years that he's done it, and the consistency, and brought like now, how many mock drafts do we have? Everybody's got a mock draft, right? Before it was just, I remember even before it was just McShay, when McShay sort of came into Mel Kiper's. Remember when he invaded Mel Kiper's territory and they sort of like started working together? But Neal, you bring up a great point, and yes, if you're going to tell the history of football, Mel Kiper should be in that conversation.
Todd.
All right, David Mentier, and I should have figured this was coming, but I didn't think about it. Can we get a Neal Ruhl Mel Kiper impression talking about Mel Kiper? Should I give that one a run?
Yeah.
I guess off the top of my head. All right, I'll give it a run off the top of my head. Hold on, let me get my Birmingham roast in here.
Free Birmingham roast.
Free, courtesy
Sponsored
of
by Edmonton Oilers.
It wasn't free. Darren McCarty paid for it. I want that out there on the record. All right, so here we go. When you're talking about candidacy for the NFL Football Hall of Fame, Mel Kiper's a name certainly that's going to pop up to you. Here's a guy that's come out, done everything for the NFL draft, made it a household appointment viewing every single year. We saw this with Mel Kiper. He's become the face out there all the time. He's who everybody looks to. And yes, he should be in the Football Hall of Fame because of the contributions that Mel Kiper made to the NFL. You guys all know who he is. He said he's the center of your draft coverage because let's be real, everybody, when you go on to ESPN.com and you're looking up these mock drafts and you want to see who's taking who, you know that Mel Kiper's the answer. That's the guy that you're looking for the information. He's the guy that always comes through for you. He's made the NFL draft what it is on ESPN right now. There is no disputing that. So yes, as we sit here right now, yes, I do believe that Mel Kiper is an NFL Football Hall of Famer.
Todd. Nicely done, Neal.
Very well
Come
done.
on.
Very well done.
Thank you.
Legend kill that. Flannel, come on, man. Like, give him some props.
that was a phenomenal. I've always given Neal his flowers about his Mel Kiper impersonations. They're spot on.
That was awesome.
Great job.
That was great.
But
Todd.
But I know we laugh at that. I laughed at it instantly. But then I was like, you know what? He's a part of the fact. This NFL draft, there were 6 million viewers on Friday night. Or on Thursday night. I believe that was the final number. I do want to see, just real quick. I'm going to take a look and see if there's like any late given information about what the TV ratings were and things like that. But it's an institution. And guys, we saw this year here at this network. You guys as fans, everybody out there, this consumed our lives for 3 months, 4 months.
Yeah.
As soon as your team's out, that's exactly what you go to right there. And D-Mac, I'll tell you this too. If we want to get granular about it, the NFL draft has overtaken. I would even say if you're in a city and you have a borderline playoff hockey team or a borderline playoff basketball team, the NFL draft has overtaken that.
Well, here's the beauty of it. Look at the time of year. First rounds or maybe second rounds of playoff series where people are, okay, it's what, game 4? You don't usually hit it on a game 7 or something like that where you make people decide. No, absolute number one priority is the draft. And look at it now. We'll still talk about it until football season and stuff like that. Does it ever really die down? No.
No. It never stops.
It just cooks for draft season. I mean, you look at what Kansas City did and outside and stuff like that. And I think it's a little extra exciting for us here in Detroit because that's a preview of what's to come. Now it's interesting to see what are they going to do, where they're going to do it, how are we going to do it. We don't know all of the logistics yet downtown Detroit, but from what you saw and just, the fact, dude, they had Motley Crue playing. Is there a chance we get Eminem playing? I mean, like, just little things like that is what gets me excited. Being a part of the city, in the city.
And I'm surprised. WoodwardSports.com chat poll, should Mel Kiper be in the Football Hall of Fame? 50% of the people say no, 30% say yes, and 20% say Todd. So, I mean, I knew that would be there as well. I'm surprised,
Todd.
And I know because of like the recency on it, like the recency bias or whatever, I knew that everyone was going to say no because everyone felt hurt this year because nobody knew what was going to happen. Right? Like, I heard Brad Holmes this morning talking to the media, and here's another reason why I ride with Brad Holmes. He gave like the psychological breakdown of why people were upset with draft picks that, the way the NFL draft went for a lot of teams this year.
Oh, wait a sec. So you're saying listen to what Brad Holmes has to say, because you're telling us exactly, like he's going to explain why he sort of did things, or wow,
no, just the
isn't that
psychological process.
Wow, who would have ever thought of that concept, to wait and hear what the GM, the guy that you're riding or dying for, has to say? Because I'm sure he's going to come out and explain it, and it sounds like, oh, please go on.
No,
sorry to interrupt.
He talked about the psychological process of why people didn't like their team's draft picks, and he said because you've been conditioned to think that player X is supposed to be there when you pick, and all these media entities have pegged player X to your team. So that has become your psychological expectation. And when you don't get your psychological expectation, when you don't get that dopamine rush, right, that you were anticipating getting, right away you take a negative outlook towards it. And so, especially, too, when you're, quote, grading a draft or looking back on it, even in the moment, within an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, you didn't get that dopamine rush that you thought you were going to get. And he said, so therefore, you're going to view it negatively. And as I go back to it, I still have some questions, a question we're going to get into coming up in just a little bit. I felt myself going along that psychological roller coaster ride. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. But here's the beauty, right? Do you want somebody at the helm of your ship that doesn't fall into any of the semantics and rises above that and sticks to their game plan? The question I want answered, and I've asked it all along, which contingency plan did you have to go to, right? It seems to me playing out that Jahmyr Gibbs was almost like an A. Once either Witherspoon dropped or Anderson wasn't there, that was their A guy. Then with Jack Campbell, they didn't listen to any of the noise. They went with what they wanted and what made best things for their team, looking at how to improve. So here's the thing, not to play into those, and those are things that I want to hear, but I'm not just hearing, I feel them when Brad Holmes talks, just like when Steve Yzerman talks, so I'm along for the ride. You are 100%, Neal. You're supposed to have questions, and you're supposed to ask those questions, but you know what great GMs and people in charge of organizations do? In their way, they answer it on their time when they feel like you need it answered. So do you feel better that Brad Holmes came out to say something like this and to explain? And you might not agree with, you don't have to agree with them, but at least you understand his thought process.
I think with Brad Holmes, for me it was a little bit different in that, because it wasn't so much philosophy based. It was talent. It was talent observation, right? And they had their guys that they isolated, and that's the way they moved. The thing that made Yzerman different was because he told you the philosophy, right? Like he opened the curtain and let you inside the curtain, and because he is Steve Yzerman, right? To where nobody has more cachet, nobody has more juice than the captain.
Well, he's got the resume
for days.
Double, triple, quadruple to what Holmes has. Brad Holmes still has to prove it to us, but what we're hearing and what we're seeing coming out, has the one thing that really cracked in my mind when you said that. You know what the number one thing too with this draft and what is important with Steve Yzerman and with Scotty Bowman, it's hockey IQ or football IQ, or right. You got to be a smart, player. What did I always say about Tyler Bertuzzi? Right, might not be the sharpest knife in the drawer, but his hockey IQ is as top as anybody else's, and we see that in the way that he plays. So to me, there's something with like the football player. It's not just talent, it's not just numbers, but it's the football players, and that's what they're assembling down there in Allen Park is football players.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Grit says, I can't stand Mel Kiper, but I would not hesitate to give him my vote if I actually had a vote to give. And Grit, that's all I was looking for. Like when we get past our missed dopamine rush that we wanted so bad, and look at it, Mel Kiper's done a lot for the NFL draft, and whether you like it or not, his contributions control your life from January till April. I lived it. I just lived it, D-Mac.
Yeah, it's more like his creation, right?
Yeah.
And then it just expanded in the uptime. Well, it matters to everybody else.
The draft's a big project.
Just like at Alta, baby, because uptime, it matters. Alta Equipment has everything you need to get the job done. You got a bog project coming up, Alta Rent, they got you covered. Call them today, 844-GO-TO-ALTA. That's go to Alta.
Big Boy Strawberry Fest has officially arrived, and we're here to show you the very best flavors of the season. Satisfy your sweet tooth with our deep-fried vanilla Oreos, strawberry hot fudge cake, and a slice of our classic strawberry pie. But that's not all. Cool off on a refreshing summer splash salad, or savor the flavors of our chicken Caesar wrap and strawberry bacon chicken wrap. And for breakfast lovers, don't miss out on our strawberry hotcakes or our mouth-watering red velvet waffle. Strawberry Fest is something for everyone. Celebrate the sweet season with us at Big Boy.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jason Olafson, DC, the founder of the Custom Health Centers, and we've helped thousands of people learn how easy it is to lose weight and keep it off with our customized weight loss and body contouring programs.
With Custom Health, you don't feel hungry, you eat well. My name is Simeon Timbuk, and I've lost 71 pounds on the program.
Call us at 844-789-THIN or visit CustomHealthCenters.com for a free consultation and get started for as little as $5 a day.
Back at it, Big D Energy. We are off and running. Back in studio, Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter. I have my Birmingham Roast iced coffee that Darren McCarty paid for by way of Connor McDavid and the Edmonton Oilers. So if this iced coffee were like a draft pick, it would say Neal Ruhl. It would have an arrow that points to Connor McDavid, then an arrow that pointed to Darren McCarty.
Fair enough.
That's how it would look, as we see all of that. I think it's time, and we didn't get it right. We talked about philosophy and the whys and spent a lot of time on, the coulda, woulda, and shoulda, but they're here now, and it ain't changing. So this is what it is. So right here, right now, as you look throughout the draft for the Detroit Lions, it's a very simple question. I have a critical Hendon Hooker question next segment, and I think I got some of you on it, and I want to find out because I live for that. I thought I had Spenmo a couple weeks ago, but I didn't. He was too smart. Damn you.
I'm smart.
You are smarter. Oh, by the way, speaking of Spenmo, since I saved this from yesterday to today too, we're gonna talk about the Michigan State thing.
Yeah.
And I think that's gonna spin off too into the whole transfer portal because now everybody's dealt with it in this room. Sam Flannel, a Michigan slappy, yourself a Michigan State guy, even me with Oakland, we've seen it. It's helped us, it's hurt us.
Yeah, but this, not to take a sidetrack, but this is more of my boy Spenny got kicked in the nuts 3 times.
Yeah.
I mean, Sam tried to group Texas. And I do, yes, Hunter Dickinson, but you were prepared. You like that's sort of like Sam's gonna go. I'm gonna throw Hunter Dickinson in here because I'm gonna use him now. Like my feelings were hurt and I was crushed. No, Spenny, we gotta deep dive into this in a bit because, dude, you're talking about little altercation the other day. Oh, this was way worse, but because you got tapped in the sack so many times.
Yeah,
bro. I
was
so
laying
bad
on the
for
floor
you.
in my house.
Well, it brings up bigger questions about the foundation and the culture and the structure of what's really going on at MSU. Even more, we know what's going on in Michigan.
Yeah.
We've always known what's going on in Michigan.
Yeah.
Now it just brings up more conversations.
Yeah, and we'll get to that one coming up in the second hour. WoodwardSports.com chat thread, jump into there. Brandon Katz says Brad Holmes needs to show that he can build a team that makes the playoffs. Brandon, we missed you yesterday. Hey, who won the Bruins-Panthers series, by the way?
The Panthers did.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
I thought one game's not a series.
Short side.
And Jalen Carter fell to 9.
Up where Norman Bates keeps his mom flannel in the attic. Boom, boom.
Jalen Carter did fall to 9.
Yeah.
Okay, hey, Brandon, we keep receipts, man. You guys do it on me, we do it on you guys, too. You're still a valued member of the Big D Energy community, though. No doubt about that. But let's bottom line this, D-Mac.
Let's do it.
Who's gonna make impacts? Who you counting on to make an impact? What do you see?
Well,
what do you feel? What do you need to
first,
see? We'll go around the room for it.
Okay, I think our first, right off the rip, our first 4 draft picks. Obviously are slated, and obviously when you look and it's the 2 firsts and 2 seconds, but from Jahmyr Gibbs, Jack Campbell to Sam Laporta at tight end, and I think Brian Branch, obviously with what he can do. Those 4. Right, because who's next? Hendon Hooker. No, great backup. You want to see him progress, but I don't want to see him in there. Right, as far as Broderick Martin, defensive tackle, we'll see. Right, you don't know, later pick, but 3rd rounder, so there's some pedigree there. So I would put him check mark on the list. I like Corby Zorzal. You've added to your offensive line and stuff, and the way that that Ben Johnson likes to rotate his guys and stuff like this, so you expect to be in there. And Antoine Green, well, you're missing a guy in Jameson Williams. So, I mean, arguably everybody but Hendon Hooker, right? So pretty much it's on pace, in my opinion, to be on par to what Brad Holm does with draft picks. Gets them on the field. Now, that's how I look at it. And, we'll have to see how it plays out.
Spenmo, as you've processed the Jack Campbell pick, and look, Rodrigo's your guy, personal friend of yours.
Yes, he is.
Text each other.
Cool dude.
Yeah, cool dude. Friend of the show. Been on the show many times. Been on the network many times. This is a big Malcolm Rodriguez fan zone around here.
Yep.
Want to see him do well. Jack Campbell comes into the fold now. I know on surface everyone says that will probably affect Rodrigo's snap count. Just from the standpoint of impact, what am I going to see differently with this defense? Because my thing was, I don't care what you guys do, I just want somebody to address the fact that an NFL team ran for 300 yards and a half against us. And in a different game, didn't punt against us. Does he impact that?
Yeah, he does.
Like, let's cut the ish,
Yeah, he definitely does. That's what he's brought in here to do. He's a big guy. He's going to be your middle linebacker. He's going to be running downhill, making tackles, hopefully making tackles in the backfield and stopping the ball carrier. So you hope he can get after it. You hope he can do a lot of different things. He's extremely athletic, can do a lot of different things on the field. So I'd love to see him flying around the field. And me and Easy talked about it yesterday. Like Alex Anzalone, career backup, had the best year of his career last year by far. Like, on paper, from when they were drafted, from who they were coming into this league, Jack Campbell is a much better player than what Alex Anzalone was.
Okay.
So you expect him to be much better in this defense.
Okay.
Maybe not right away because he's a rookie. And like I said, Alex knew the defense, had a fantastic year last year. But when he gets there, when he gets comfortable, when he gets set, you expect him to be an improvement on that.
Flannel, you're a Big Ten apologist.
Yes.
I'm
a Big Ten apologist.
Iowa, historically great defense, I was told.
I mean, I don't know if it was historically great, but Jack Campbell, to be fair, was the Butkus Award winner. I wasn't a huge fan of the pick initially, but here's the thing. The linebacker position was absolutely a need for the Detroit Lions, and for Jack Campbell to be successful, I think he has to come in right away on day one and be the best linebacker on the team. And I think he's very, very capable of that. He's a tackling machine. He's one of those guys that I think can prevent teams from running all over him. He's just let run downhill, stop. And I also think that he's got people act like he's just like slow as molasses. He's a lot more athletic than people think. I expect Jack Campbell to make a significant impact. Similar, I think the ceiling for what he can do this first year is to be what Leighton Vander Esch was for the Cowboys his rookie season, where he was a Pro Bowler. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but he has to be the best linebacker on his team. No, not calling for it. I said ceiling. Okay. I said ceiling.
Okay. You got to check with you.
I know.
That's fair. You tend to get aggressive. What?
No, you're right.
He does. It's just,
I think, when it comes to Malcolm Rodriguez, he's still an integral part, a cog in the wheel, whatever. It's his motor. It's the fact that, he can be used on special teams and different things like that. But I think this linebacker core, obviously, it's going to be Anzalone teaching Jack Campbell how to take it over. But I still see as Malcolm, I don't look at it as him losing snaps as part maybe being more effective of when he's in there to stop the run. So I think it's more of a scheme, and it has to be, and it's more right now till we see it. It's the linebackers committee, right, with these talented. But until I see Malcolm Rodriguez, he's got everything that this locker room needs, and he's one of those cogs to the wheel, like he's a grind liner. I mean, so you'll find. I think he's a big part still.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread, Todd Sane says, do you think they will play a more traditional 4-3 now that they have Jack Campbell? And you know what, Todd? That's going to come down. That's going to come down to pass coverage, man. It is. And look, the book. Here's my only question. And I can ask a question, right? Like, I don't just have to sit there and gobble this up, right? Like, I can ask a question. The book on Campbell, right? Holds his own / does well in matchups against tight ends. That's going to dictate everything, man. That is going to dictate everything. There were 15 tight ends taken in the draft this year.
Yeah.
15.
That's pretty wild.
But that goes to show you, right? Like this Kelsey Kittle, this movement along is real.
Yeah.
Like it's real and it's happening. And who's going to draw the responsibility for that? To cover those guys, man. Who's
linebacker more than likely?
More than likely the linebacker,
Unless you have
man.
Eric Berry, but there's not many of those guys floating around.
Yeah, and while I sit here and rant and rave and talk about 300 yards rushing in a half in the most important game of the season, the fact remains that this is today's NFL. And today's NFL are the Travis Kelce's and the George Kittles. Because sports, for all the shifting and all the movement that there is in today's day and age versus 10, 20 years ago, the fact remains, D-Mac, this is a matchups game.
Yeah, but don't forget, what else you're talking about the tight. I'm talking, you mentioned about who our guys are going to play. Also, too, it's that Christian McCaffrey, like we got Jahmyr Gibbs, and it said who has to cover the guy out of the backfield on those little swing passes, or if they line him up in the slot or something like that. That's a linebacker
100%.
coverage a lot of the time, too.
Wheel routes, all that stuff.
Listen,
yeah.
and that's when you said that's what we're trying to do in drafting Jahmyr Gibbs out of the backfield with the speed that he possesses, is to get linebackers one-on-one. So other teams are going to try to do it either with their tight ends or their backs or whatever, but it's, you know why it is, Neal? It's because it's the evolution of the way the game is officiated, right? So you can go over the middle a lot more because you're not going to get your head taken off, because you can't take the guy's head off like you used to be able to. It used to be suicide zone, right? You go in there, and how many times we talk about, man, that guy's so tough because he goes through the middle. Now the rules where you can't, you don't have to really worry about getting your head knocked off and stuff like this. It makes it a little bit easier. Not saying that the talent isn't there, but that's where the exploitation in the defense is. So we'll find out. See, we're going to see real early.
We're going to see.
We're going to see.
Yeah.
Real early. And you got to give Jack Campbell, like Sam said, time. But I think the more so it's that linebacker committee.
Yep. You got 3 quarters, Jack Campbell. By quarter 4 of the game number 1, you got to be Jack Youngblood. That's the way that it is.
Jack Youngblood.
Dad with Tourette says Jack is a starter day 1, not a project. I agree.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Yeah, when you're the 18th overall pick in the draft, you're a starter day 1. You're not a project like that, unless it's like a quarterback type situation. Other than that, we ride. He was the best cover linebacker in college football for 2 seasons.
He was not the best coverage linebacker.
I agree with that. He ran a 4.65, which is faster than Hawkinson, and 0.05 slower than Kelsey. And Dad with Tourette's, like, that's... And I know I just got done making a big deal about, like, the tight end matchup thing, but the running back thing is real, too. And those cats are out there cooking with 4.4s and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? This is a matchups game, and sports through, again, D-Mac, through all the change that it's made, sports has always been that.
Well, and that when you start explaining stuff like this is where scheme and stuff like this, because what's it going to have to be with our linebackers? You're talking about Malcolm or Anzalone or Campbell, is to get to those running backs before they get ahead of steam, right? In the backfield, the line of scrimmage, stuff like this, even if they're swinging out. So. By committee.
Real quick before we get to the break, on 9 drinks, Sam Flannel says, slow as molasses. Does Sam Flannel even know how to use molasses? Right here, right now, what do you use molasses for?
Isn't molasses like a syrup?
You don't even know. All right, good talk. Let me tell you about the sports.
I think he's right, though. Isn't it like you use it for cooking?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but is it a syrup? Like, that means you don't know.
It's
if you don't know what it is, then you don't know how to use it. Is that fair?
But I think it is a syrup. Like a similar...
Bring. Hi, 1890? What's molasses?
248.
Oh, okay, thank you.
I defended Jack Campbell with that comment, by the way, because I do think he's a lot faster and more athletic
I don't think the question was about Jack Campbell. I think it was about your knowledge of molasses.
I understand that. I just want that on the record. I don't think Jack Campbell's slower than molasses.
And if only there were a way we could find out what molasses was. Maybe someday we will. Until that time, I'll tell you about the Sports Marketing Agency. They help spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse. Their new podcast is called This is the S Word, a series that helps address the stigma associated with seeking help. If you're struggling or someone you know is struggling, go to thesportsma.com. Again, thesportsma.com, the Sports Marketing Agency. They're here to help.
I love Woodward sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raptor, iced coffee from Birmingham Roast on DMAC.
So, since you don't eat sugar, Neal, at all, you could have got some molasses. Because
it's a sugar substitute.
Molasses is a sugar substitute. I typed, what is molasses used for? The lighter grades of molasses, it should be molassi, but made from sugar cane are edible and used in baking and candy making and to make rum. Blackstrap and other low grades of cane molassi, are used in mixed animal feed and in industrial production of vinegar, citric acid, and other products.
Dave Schultz says, I love molasses cookies. Jack Harrington says, what the hell is molasses? And Brandon Katz says, don't care. So everything is on brand. We are all right there. Molasses cookies.
Molassi. It shouldn't be molasses. It should be molasses.
Well, it's molasses, right? Like in its singular, it has an S on the end.
Yeah, so it should be molasses.
Right, but it would be molasses cookies because you make it out of molasses, right?
Yes, that's fair.
David says, I love molasses cookie. You chase those with a Werther's Original?
Those are so gross.
That just sounds old, doesn't it? Molasses cookies.
Or is it molasses?
Molassie? I don't know.
Is that plural? Molasses, like geese?
And see, here's what this all comes back to. And of course, I love you guys, man, because we can be sitting here talking about the draft. Everyone gets their comments in there. We start talking about molasses, and just boom, 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 like people just fire away comments.
And leave it to the councilman, Mr. Closia. They're like ginger snaps. Okay, cool.
Okay.
I love ginger snaps.
Why is goose geese, but moose isn't meese? That one pisses me off.
Why are deer deer?
Yeah. The English language is stupid.
It is stupid.
It's very
stupid. You know what's funny? Like, so I took Italian in school because I wanted to learn what my in-laws were talking about me.
Yeah. Oh!
And, you know.
Baba boopy?
Bibbidi bobbidi. And their vowel, they just have one sound for their vowels.
Yeah.
So once you learn the sound, you can basically read. It's wild. And when we went over to Italy, they would ask me about that. They would say, like, why do your vowels make two sounds? I'm like, I don't know.
Oopals and banunus.
Yeah, dude. Everything's easier over there. I don't know why, but it just is. Robert Koloska also says, and this is what makes me laugh. He says it's actually made from sugar, so it's not a sugar alternative, LOL. Robert, thank you. Because, like, that's what I always get all the time when people, because DMAC, when people ask me, they'll say, well, how'd you lose all that weight? I'm like, well, I quit eating sugar. And then everybody looks at me and they're like, oh. Like they thought there was some magic formula to it.
Hey, DMAC, how did you resuscitate into life? I quit drinking booze.
Oh.
Which has what? Sugar.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
See, it all works. So sugar, that's a demon. Man.
I'm like, so I quit, I don't eat watermelon. I don't eat apples. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't. Yeah. Oh, well, it's natural sugar. Sugar.
It doesn't matter.
What about stevia?
Acronym.
Sugar.
Pronoun,
what's stevia?
Yeah.
Syllable, suffix, prefix.
You know what doesn't have
whatever.
sugar in it? Cream of wheat.
No, it certainly doesn't. It has cardboard in it.
It's got cardboard.
It's got cardboard in it, no doubt. So that is funny. DJ Element, no watermelon. No. Watermelon's got a ton of sugar. Cantaloupe.
Love watermelon.
Oh, cantaloupe's so good.
Cantaloupe is good. I do
What?
strawberries.
You like cantaloupe?
Strawberries, blackberries.
What?
Yeah.
You're like the only person I know that likes cantaloupe.
I love cantaloupe.
You love those
Oh, yeah. And honeydew.
Now that's where I draw the line.
Honeydew's fine. Cantaloupe's
You don't like
awful.
honeydew?
Honeydew's fine. Cantaloupe's awful.
Oh, they're both good.
WoodwardSports.com chat poll right now. Cantaloupe or honeydew?
Pineapple's better than all of them. So.
Well, of course.
But dude,
Pineapple's another mega sugar
Pineapple's
one.
in a watermelon and kiwi
How
category.
do you spell cantaloupe?
Just the way you think it sounds, dude. Which one? Cantaloupe or honey? Cantaloupe's going to win this 75%.
No way.
I would choose cantaloupe over honeydew.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Cantaloupe's
Do you ever
win
buy
this
the
one.
fruit like ready to serve at the grocery store or whatever? And you look in
That's the only
next
way I
thing?
buy it.
Oh, the minute I see the orange, get out of here.
You don't like cantaloupe?
I don't.
Wow.
Muskmelon's good though. It's got it. Gross. Gross. I mean, I'd eat like it's not like olives. Olives and booze are a no-go.
I like olives.
Cantaloupe, I mean, if it's there and it's like whatever like that, I'm not gonna enjoy it like I enjoy.
Jake
watermelon.
Wagoner says I'm Team Honeydew. So there's one
Thanks,
out there.
Jake.
There's some honeydews in there.
60-40. I'm surprised.
Yeah, cantaloupe is
60-40 what?
60-40 cantaloupe. I mean, let's not get crazy.
I like them both.
Like,
I like
really?
them both. Salted watermelon though.
Yeah, that works.
That is something else. That's gonna be served at my wedding and my funeral. Salted watermelon.
Is that Spenny's gonna have the loaded watermelon?
Oh, yeah.
And the non-loaded watermelon. Hey, I know that one of your siblings will probably pump that thing up with vodka.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Both are trash.
Stephen Baffy says, I love honeydew. It may be my favorite fruit. Now, that's a unicorn.
There you go,
Yeah,
Steve.
that is a unicorn.
No.
It's not your favorite fruit.
It's not your
approve
favorite
that.
fruit, is it?
No, but
Okay.
it's his.
There
I
are so
approve
many
that more than
good
cantaloupe.
fruits to choose
If you
from.
tell me cantaloupe's your favorite fruit, we got to have a conversation.
Pineapple's
Check your
probably
stats.
my favorite fruit.
Yeah, I'm team berry, strawberries.
I'm a berry guy too.
I might be
Blackberries.
watermelon.
Watermelon's good too. Grapes.
Peaches.
Grapes are slapped
Grape
on.
slap.
Yeah.
My daughter likes those cotton candy grapes.
I've never had those.
Oh, hey, Nick,
Don't
Nick,
do
Nick,
it
we
'cause you'll
can't-
never
we're
go
not
back.
getting into the. He's talking about papaya and all that. That's like
Yeah,
exotics.
easy,
Come on, we
guys.
don't go into
Dragon
exotics.
fruit.
We're talking about a
Dragon
Ford.
fruit fucking sucks, dude.
You can't even pick it. It's all pointy and
Yeah,
everything, man.
no thanks.
There's only 4 of them at the grocery store
Yep.
every single time.
Yeah.
Because dragon fruit is like the candy corn
Yeah.
of fruit. No one's buying it.
Fair.
You put it out there because it looks cool, and they're like $6.
You know what fruit is unsettling? Raspberries. Don't like raspberries.
Oh, dude, I like
They're fuzzy.
raspberries. Yeah.
They have fuzz on them.
It's
They have hair on them.
Berries. Okay, get it? Raspberries.
That's fair. They got,
Flannel,
Ask
they got
me
hair
about
on 'em.
my winner.
homegrown cherry tomatoes might as well be a fruit. That comes from Patrick.
Those
Cherries.
are delicious.
Fresh
Sweet,
cherries.
fresh.
Summer. You
Hey,
can only
don't
have
talk
cherries
to
in
the
the
kid
summer.
from Tomato Town.
Yeah.
Leamington, Ontario, tomato capital of
Oh,
Canada.
I'll eat a tomato.
Really?
I'll eat a
That's
tomato
where I'm
like
from.
an apple.
Oh,
Yeah,
dude,
no,
yeah.
I know where you're from. I
Yeah,
didn't. They're
tomato capital of Canada, second in the world.
I'll eat a tomato like an apple. I
And now
love
it's the
tomatoes.
cannabis capital.
You
So, I
basic.
mean, it all works out.
Now it's tomatoes and cannabis. Huh?
Yeah, because you know why? Because they grow the same in the same soil. Tomatoes and cannabis and the cannabis plant.
Robert Colosio, that's just
grow
not
similar.
true. It's just not true. He says raspberries are literally the best of the bunch. Not even close. Bottom tier.
That's
Blackberries, strawberries, blueberries, all over raspberries.
Nah, see, I do like raspberries a lot.
Not more
I
than
do.
those 3.
Man, people are passionate about it. Which do you choose, cantaloupe or honeydew? 62% of the people say cantaloupe. I'm mad we use this now and not in July, to be honest with you, because we have the NFL draft stuff that we can get to.
It's true. We can bring it back.
We
We'll bring
Now-
it back.
now that you've had time to think about
sorry,
it.
Dave.
We'll bring it back.
Yeah, we apologize.
Clementines are up there, too.
for sidetracking your sports show.
Clementines are so much
Jesus.
superior to oranges.
Oh, million percent.
1,000%.
Yeah,
Like,
they peel easy.
Wonder why
yeah,
some of us need
they're
a break.
bite size.
Yeah.
They don't got giant seeds in them.
You can legit peel a clementine, the whole peel in one
go.
piece.
Yeah.
And they're done, and that's it.
My dog picked up a singular peeled clementine on our walk today.
There
On
you
the
go.
ground. I was like, drop it. I smacked it out of her mouth. But clementines are way better than oranges.
Austin says we should have a fruit draft.
Oh, that,
July.
now that would be electric.
Yeah, it would be to have a fruit draft. That would be pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I know that apples, a lot of people are big on apples out there. There's the versatility of the apple. You can have it with apple pie. You can make apple juice out of it, apple fritters as well. If you're a big breakfast person, like the donuts, the cross of the worlds with the apples and the fritters themselves right there. A lot of steam being built lately for the apple, and it's an institution fruit. However, I just don't feel that there's a need at number 1 overall.
That's
You need
fair.
a little more vitamin C in your life. You want to go oranges here. The orange crop was very good this year. It fits a little better under the salary cap. Oranges are going to be the play at number 1.
People hate on Red Delicious apples. What are your takes on I love Red Delicious apples. People are like, they're too tart.
Yeah, I'm more team Fuji.
The Fuji apple is elite.
I'm more team
How do
Fuji.
you not?
Fuji apple is elite. Honeycrisp is great. Regular green apples, those suck.
Jonesy
Granny
fit.
Smiths?
Yeah, just a
those.
green apple.
apples are way
They're
Gotta
so
have the crunch.
overrated.
Yeah.
Gotta have the crunch.
Green apples would be sitting in the green room of our draft the
for sure.
entire
They're the
time. We'd
Will
have to put the
Levis.
camera on it.
The Will Levis.
The conference room. You know, we would have to put the green apple sitting on the table and just keep going back to it.
Bananas are slept on. That'll be a steal because that's not in your thought process of top fruits.
No,
but
it's
it is
not.
essential to a lot of different things.
And you know what else it is too? It's got its own carrying case. You can
Yes.
just grab one and take it and throw it in the front seat of your car and
Yep.
come back to it whenever,
You don't gotta-
and then you just open it up and eat it. Like
That's true.
The simplicity and the ease and the simplicity and the ease and the versatility of
Yeah.
the banana
Yeah.
certainly makes a great bread as well.
Oh, yeah.
A great pudding.
Yeah.
When you look across the board, a lot of people don't realize the implications, the impact that banana has on the fruit family. But there it is. All these things that you enjoy are right out there with the banana.
That's true.
Jonesy 5182. Brandon Katz will think every pick was a reach in the fruit draft.
That's true. That's true. Pears
There
are
you go.
slept
Hey,
on.
this was just, there it is. That's what it is. This was just a segue into the middle of summer when it's,
Yes.
if it ever dies down, then
Oh,
we
we're
have
doing
the
a fruit draft. We're doing a fruit draft.
The
for
fruit
sure.
draft.
For
I like
sure.
it, Spenny.
What's the show? I don't know. I don't know what
Ask
happened.
me about my winner.
That's fair.
Worry, but that was time for,
a
people
whole
had to go
segment
up
about
and
fruit.
get something to eat,
Yeah.
refill their coffee, stuff like that.
All right, I got the question for you guys when we come back. I got you guys on this one. This poll is going to be incredible, and it's going to be electric, and I'll lay it all out for you when we come back.
First, how would you like to win a new vehicle for you and a friend? That's right, a new car for you, your wife, your husband, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your best bud. Maybe even spend more racks. Who
Yes.
knows? Just get to
Could
Lady
use that.
Jane's and automatically register for your chance to win. Courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Burndale. Lady Jane's, haircuts for men, open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Kroger's, and if you wanna know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
Back at it, Big D Energy here on the Woodward Fruit Network. My name is Neal Ruhl. That guy is Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter as well. And it's wild the way we do this. Every now and then this happens where we get off on a tangent and it takes over. Then inevitably I get some pictures sent to me or whatever, and it's funny how it works, man.
Funny how the universe
My mom,
works,
look
Neal.
at this. My mom is actually walking around the fruit market as we speak right now. A cantaloupe and a honeydew, they're $5 each now.
Wow.
Thanks,
Oh,
Biden.
you gotta go honey. Look at those honeydews.
No.
Look at the lish.
No.
Like, nobody wants a cantaloupe.
The outside of the cantaloupe is far superior than the outside of a honeydew.
I would agree.
It's got the texture.
Is that pricey right now?
It looks more protected and everything.
Yeah.
Like the honeydew looks.
Well, that does not make sense. Front liner. Okay? Front liner. My fruit's on the front line. And by the way, the lobster roll pairs great with the watermelon. Sliced watermelon.
That is true.
That's fair.
All right, here's the critical question I got. Let's get back here to the NFL draft. All right, we discussed yesterday. You guys both do other shows on the network, Spenmo and Sam Flannel. What was the reaction to the Hendon Hooker pick?
I think it was overall good, other than the golf gawkers.
Give me a percentage.
I would say 70-30. 70-30 happy.
Flannel, you mark that?
I would honestly make it closer to 80-20.
Okay, so it's pretty much universal joy, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I went through it yesterday. I don't see a path that Hendon Hooker ever plays here. I just don't. Especially, too, if this team goes to where we think they're going to go, he definitely will not play. So let me... This is my main question from the takeaway of the draft. And as I said, we had fun with the Iowa stuff, and that was fun, and that was on brand and everything like this. Here's my only question about it. Right here, right now, because you guys know which way I would have went with this scenario. And I'm also willing to issue a guarantee, which we will get to after this. Knowing now, which we didn't know then, the Hendon Hooker selection.
Shout out Bob Seger.
Shout out Bob Seger. Would you have taken Hendon Hooker or Jake Moody? Because I, unequivocally, without hesitation, would have taken Jake Moody. And number one, since we're all back here, and this seems to be big around here, I want my flowers for the Jake Moody thing.
Yeah, that's fair. You deserve it.
I want my flowers. Okay, now we'll put that to bed. Jake Moody will undoubtedly have more impact, a more impactful NFL career than Hendon Hooker will, in my eyes. Because, again, especially, what Hendon Hooker will do with the Detroit Lions.
Is that really a fair statement? Because Jake Moody's going to start from day one and play, and Hendon Hooker, no matter, falling out of the first round or whatever, was going to more be a backup and be progress. Now, everything else that you're saying, right? Have a take on that about drafting this guy. This is what I say, right? And I take a different tact because I just listened to Brad Holmes, and I've reiterated it more and more because I heard him say it. I heard Dan Campbell say it, and it started back to, we will address our backup quarterback situation, right? We're not going to be a position we were in last year. What that meant, to play it out, this is where we're at. Now, you're the money guy. You're the draft capital guy. The fact that you have the concern, it goes back to you want guys to play now to be impactful to whatever else. My thing is that the culture and having that backup, having the guy that athletically, arguably, before getting hurt, which was an ACL, which he's going to miss sort of an off season, but from everything I hear, don't expect him not to recover fully. He's got talent. He's got maturity. And I think it's the maturity, Neal, that we're overlooking. I think it's the maturity of what helps in Allen Park. And at the end of the day, if we get to where we need to go and he never plays, who cares? It's a third-round pick. We're not talking about a first round. We're talking about a third rounder. I don't care if he ever plays and we win a Super Bowl. Do people going to care?
What if we don't go to a Super Bowl because of a missed kick?
Then what's that? Okay.
Because of a missed kick.
Then that is scenarios always in. But another question or whatever is, I think Brad Holmes had that scenario. Did he have the choice to pick either or? Right?
Yes.
And his choice was that the quarterback was more than what he could get for the kicker. That question you have, Neal, yeah, that's poignant, and we're going to see if it plays out that way. Because I agree with you. I don't want Hendon Hooker ever to have to play. But if he does, might be a guy that's more capable. A little bit better than Nate Sudfeld?
Yes.
Well, I'm
just saying, is it? Or
maybe.
Spending the money on, $6-8 million on Jacoby Brissett or Teddy Bridgewater or whatever. No, it's the maturity and along the lines. I think that's what benefits because he is 20 what?
Justin W. in the WoodwardSports.com.
How old is he? 26, 28?
25.
25.
Yeah.
So there's something to it that means something in Allen Park. Why they chose it.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Justin W. says that's a brutal take. Is that a brutal take, Spenny? Is it a brutal take for me to say that Jake Moody will have a more productive NFL career than Hendon Hooker? Is that brutal? Is that the worst thing you've ever heard?
No, that's not brutal. But it's easily... I don't know.
It's not on the same playing field, is it?
It's not on the same playing field. Hendon Hooker has so much more upside than Jake Moody. Infinitely more.
What about you, Sam Flannel? You're a Michigan simp.
So I found the whole Jake Moody discussion by you to be a little bit disingenuous. I think it is the most backhanded compliment you could ever give to Michigan, to just like shower flowers all over Jake Moody all the time. When it comes to Michigan players, I've never heard you talk more highly about one than Jake Moody. And just for the record, I know that this is something I had to look up, but it is verified. Last season in 2022, Michael Badgley and Jake Moody both made field goals at an 83% clip. So this idea that Jake Moody is all world and Michael Badgley sucks, that's just not true. I'm just saying.
And Moody never missed an extra point in his career.
Okay, that's not even the same thing because they don't have the 35-yard extra points in college. That's also true. Come on, Neal.
Okay, so Moody's mid then.
No. He's very, very good. But
I'm just trying to keep up, Flannel.
Michael Badgley was good too. I get it. Like, when you look at it on surface, when you just kind of regurgitate narratives, you'd think that Michael Badgley sucks and Jake Moody was Lou Groza reincarnated, but that's just not the facts.
Hey, Neal, is it fair to say that every time, no matter who the kicker is for the Lions, that is going in, it's a kick to win the game or to tie the game or it's an imperative kick, in your mind, you're going to be, if he misses, you're going to be, I sure drafted Jake Moody. Are you going to be that? Are you going to be that way? Because I'm sure a lot of people will be that way. But you can't be that way because at the end of the day, to Flannel's point, that whatever, never missed a few, all the stuff you're bringing Jake Moody to the table.
Here's the deal.
Hendon Hooker was more valuable at the third round to the Detroit Lions than Jake Moody
and that's fine, but D-Mac, I operate in absolutes, right? I operate in, when you draft someone, you want to get somebody that will contribute, right, in a big fashion. And I don't think it's I would be willing to book that bet that Jake Moody will have a more impactful NFL career than Hendon Hooker will, especially that Hendon Hooker will for the Detroit Lions.
But
I just don't see a path that he plays.
Though, Hendon Hooker's not getting on the field.
Right. So then why would you waste the pick?
So will half the other guys if he never gets on the field. But his upside and what he brings to the team. So yeah, good. I mean, I don't know. It doesn't make sense that comparable. The bottom line is you would have took Jake Moody with that third pick instead of Hendon Hooker.
Correct.
Because
you would feel
he's going to help right now more. Well, we'll see at the end of the year how Badgley kicks. Badgley kicks at a 90%, kicks better, doesn't miss a kick. Then it was obviously they have the confidence. A lot of times that we haven't even talked about is the rest of the roster and the confidence that Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell have to the guys that are already here. Right? So the fact that they believe in Michael Badgley more than they believe in what Jake Moody would do. That's the conversation that they just told me by drafting Hendon Hooker.
And that's fair. And that's fair. I'm asking the question. WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Enjoy Detroit says, Moody is to Neal what Malik Willis is to Maz and Ryan Ermanni. I guess that's the same, right?
It's fair.
I guess that is the same. I don't know. I just think when it's all said and done, that Moody will have impacted the game of football in the National Football League more. And I think that's a fair take. And I know that because ultimately...
Will you put a tattoo bet on it?
JM?
Yeah.
JM on the side of my eye
no,
right
it's got to be HH.
No. No, I don't bet tattoos. You want to do drinks or whatever? No problem.
That's fair.
I got you all day long. It's just something I thought about. I thought that the Michigan fans would be more on my side, but I guess not. 70% of you say Hendon Hooker.
He's not a Michigan player anymore. Forget about him.
Is that the way it worked with Hutch last year?
Oh, but Aiden Hutchinson had 9.5 sacks his rookie year. It's funny, Neal. I kind of feel like you've never fully been able to completely wrap your arms around Aiden Hutchinson.
What do you mean?
You compliment Kirby Joseph and James Houston way more than you do Aiden Hutchinson. Aiden Hutchinson
was the number 2 overall pick in the draft, man.
Yeah. And
he's supposed to do that.
And just imagine, and
he doesn't get fly. That's what you're supposed to do.
He led all freaking rookies in sacks, bro.
It's a number 2 overall pick. That's what you expect,
and
right?
And he delivered on everything.
He didn't even live up to your expectations.
Well, he had 12.5 sacks and interceptions combined. And he led all rookies in sacks.
That's that Michigan gymnastics.
That's
why
not
that's such a good gymnastics program.
Interceptions are more valuable than sacks, bro, especially when one's at the freaking goal line. Come on, Neal.
No, but I'm saying, though, he didn't even live up to your expectations if you go by the numbers.
He led all rookies in sacks. I get it. My expectations were lofty, but he delivered.
Yes, as he should. The number 2 overall pick. I'm happy with Aiden Hutchinson.
I know you are. But you always compliment Kirby Joseph and James Houston more. You just do. That's facts.
Right, because they were a 3rd-round pick and a 6th-round pick.
And they weren't quite as valuable as Aiden Hutchinson. They were all very valuable. I'm just saying.
See, that's why I'm surprised you're not on the Jake Moody angle of this argument right now.
Yeah, because I would have rather taken Hendon Hooker, because both Michael Badgley and Jake Moody made field goals at an 83% clip last year. Those are just the numbers. People are acting like I said, people are acting like you are acting like Jake Moody never missed a kick ever. He missed 6 field goals last year. It doesn't seem like he did. I mean, I watched him every snap. He seemed like the most accurate kicker ever, but by the numbers, him and Michael Badgley were the same.
Yeah, especially that big one to beat Illinois, Powerhouse Illinois.
That was a damn good kick.
That was a good kick. I was in the parking lot of the O Arena for that kick.
And I love Jake Moody, for the record. I do.
Do you?
Yeah.
All right. Hey, we're going to revisit this in a couple years. We will. We'll revisit this in a couple of years. You should visit Cintron right now, as a matter of fact. That is right. So you know what? Why wait? It's the official energy drink of the Detroit Red Wings. And right now, you can make your game day sparkle. Try the limited edition Red Wings Variety Pack. Go to drinkcintron.com/Woodward. They'll send it out there to you. The 6-pack Red Wings theme package. You can try the great tasting cranberry, classic, and sugar-free. $15, free shipping. Boom. Right to your door. drinkcintron.com/Woodward. Try it today. The official energy drink of the Detroit Red Wings. It's Cintron, Darren McCarty.
Drink it, live it, love it with Cintron.
Saturdays at 1 p.m. Make sure you're watching WoodwardSports.com for our new show, Chompin' Puck.
He shoots! He scores!
With 4-time Stanley Cup champion Darren McCarty and Michael Gentry, Chompin' Puck is taking the Detroit hockey community and giving them a voice. Pros to Joes. You'll get the best Detroit hockey coverage around. Chompin' Puck. Saturdays 1 p.m. on WoodwardSports.com.
The sports marketing agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zuniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
Neal Ruhl here for Custom Health Centers. Feeling tired, depressed, unmotivated, low sex drive perhaps, got some muscle loss going, belly fat piling up? Testosterone optimization therapy. It's safe and effective, and it's a great way to restore your vitality, confidence, performance, and reduce your risk for heart disease. Visit CustomHealthCenters.com today or call 877-965-0910. That's CustomHealthCenters.com. Pulling up on the second hour of the show, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Appreciate everybody tapping in. Make sure you subscribe to the Woodward Sports YouTube channel. Download the podcast. Subscribe to it. Spreaker, iTunes, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. Get the Big D Energy podcast. You can rewind, fast forward. You want to listen to a fruit breakdown? We got that for you. Whatever you guys need.
Electric.
It was electric. And you can go to WoodwardSports.com. All the latest news, articles, updates, show clips, and the merch. Tomorrow, I'll be busting out the Free JMO t-shirt.
Hell yeah.
Free JMO.
Free JMO.
I'm just saying. The activity was permitted. It was just in an unpermitted location. That's wild to me.
So it wasn't permitted.
That's wild to me.
It's pretty stupid.
It is pretty stupid. Both things can be true.
Both things can be true.
It can be a suspendable offense, and it can be a stupid rule.
Amen.
That's fair. I think that is fair.
Speaking of which, did you see D-Mac? You would have liked that. Ricky Williams' little expose to Roger Goodell, where he wrote him a letter about how the NFL doesn't suspend people for smoking weed anymore, and how he's suspended 6 times, drug tested over 500 times, and lost millions of dollars, and now they can just do whatever they want.
Him and Josh Gordon.
Yeah.
Ricky Williams was underrated, man.
I didn't see
Big
it, but
fan.
shout out to Rick. What a great guy.
Yeah. 2,000-yard season, man.
Yeah, I think he had 1,800. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if he got to 2,000, but I think all-purpose yards he did. But yeah, Ricky Williams, one of the best college backs ever, and I think he had 5,000 or 6,000 yard seasons in the NFL. Very, very underrated.
Yeah, I mean, he produced, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot obviously was expected of him. But he did, man. He did the job. No doubt about it. I did want to touch on this as well. The Lions undrafted free agent signings. Some of the guys, after the draft was over, just to get you up to date with everything that went on with that, Adrian Martinez from Kansas State, the guy that was the turnover factory at Nebraska. I know Sam Flannel loves him. I hope he rents and doesn't buy here. Ibrahim, the running back from Minnesota. Now they paid him like a 7th round draft pick, so he's got money guaranteed. I realized he was 5'8", but I didn't think about it. Yeah. He's 5'8", dude. Chase Cota, the receiver from Oregon, that was somebody that was intriguing to me. They got an offensive tackle from Baylor, a couple of offensive linemen, as a matter of fact. Brandon Joseph, the safety from Notre Dame. Now this was supposed to be a draftable guy. Yeah. People liked Brandon Joseph a lot, safety out of Notre Dame, but for some reason didn't get drafted. That was one that caught a lot of people's attention, I think, nationally. I know that people realize the names, and I know especially with Ibrahim, people will see that and they'll say, "Hey, I've seen that guy play before." And he was very, very. Yeah.
Well, hey, we saw the Cowboys and Deuce Vaughn get drafted by his dad and the Cowboys, and Ibrahim's bigger than he is. That's duly noted in the chat thread, Nicholas Duncan. But you never know. He's got a motor. I think with Ibrahim, it's injuries, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we'll see. Hey, guys, they got an opportunity. And what does Neal tell us on the fact that they did treat a undrafted free agent like a 7th round pick or give him money? That to me, what we see is like it was a priority, right?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And Pete
you
Smith,
don't just give away $100,000. I mean, you're the banker.
Yeah.
Right. So
$100,000, I'll take a flyer.
You will
I'll
take a flyer.
Yeah.
So other than maybe practice squad guy, or do you do that when you think you have plans ahead for maybe not to make the roster, but the practice squad or something?
Well, that links nicely with this question here from Pete Smith. Neal, would you rather get drafted in the last round or go UFA and get to pick? I will always take UFA and get to pick. Always. 18 times out of 17. I will go the UFA route. I will always say, too, that's something like Kendrick Nunn from Oakland, right? He didn't get drafted. He kind of got to get the lay of the land and ended up signing with Golden State, got into their G League team, and things broke out nicely, and then he ended up with the Miami Heat. I would always rather choose my path. You tell me, D-Mac, you're the player.
Absolutely. No, I think you're spot on. As far as, it obviously goes to the guarantee, and sometimes maybe even like a 6th rounder, depending on where you go. A lot of times you want to keep the power, so in those situations, more times than not, you want to dictate because what you're doing, right, Neal, is the fact that you're looking at rosters and you're looking at what did teams do, how did they go off the board, what did they replace, what didn't they replace. You're a fullback. It's a long lost sort of art or whatever, or a guy like that, where you're going to fit in. So to be able to choose, and you know what else is more important? Coaches. Who do you want to go play for?
Right.
Who's going to get the best out of you? Are we not sitting here at this station with one of the most unfortunate pro athletes in history, and Braylon Edwards getting drafted by Cleveland and not being nurtured, or stuff like that, to what the talent was? I mean, it does matter where you go.
And still holds their all-time franchise record for touchdown catches in a season.
It does mean a lot. So, and especially late bloomers.
And who's a great example of that, D-Mac, is Spenny's boy, Clayton Tune. right? You were pounding the table for Clayton Tune.
I like Clayton Tune.
You do. You love you some Clayton Tune. I bet you if you fifth round's a little different because you're getting more cheese, but I would bet you deep down, knowing that he went to Arizona, that Clayton Tune would probably have preferred to not be drafted and line up his own spot. And the reason I say that is because he walks in and he's behind Kyler Murray, who's $180 million guaranteed. So right away that hurts you.
Yes.
Number two, Arizona has their own pick next year and now Houston's pick. They have a very good chance of having the number 1 overall pick next year.
Yeah, with their own, because Houston's going to be good.
And who is the unanimous number 1? Even Mel Kiper will get this one right. Caleb Williams. If Arizona gets the number 1 pick, guess who they're going to take? Caleb Williams. So now you'd be behind Caleb Williams, $187 million guaranteed guy, and then there's you, the 5th round pick.
Yeah.
He will never play there. Never.
More than likely not.
Yeah. So, that goes to show you.
Forever.
Yeah. Absolutely. And, that's what it is. That's the power of being able to choose where you go.
Yeah,
How about, D-Mac, when you cut ties with the Wings?
Yeah, it's a typical, obviously, situation. I was lucky, though, because first team that came calling was Calgary. But Colorado came calling, too, right at the same time. But I wanted to go play for Darryl Sutter. I mean, that's where it was. If I was going to go play, I was going to go play for one of a few guys and the team that was built. So it just so happened that Calgary, coming off of losing to before the lockout to Tampa in the finals, were looking for final pieces, and I thought I'd be one of them, and it was close because we lost in 7 the first round, just like what you see. It brought me flashbacks. Lost in 7 to Anaheim, where ended up winning the Stanley Cup back in 06.
How much did you entertain going to Colorado, for real?
Never.
Not for a second?
No. I was flattered, and it just sort of told me, like, okay, yeah, what the real deal is, that when all's said and done, but never. It would never cross my mind, other than that's cool. Respect.
Because your agent has to call you. Your agent has to call you and tell you.
No, not then. More so now. If you're doing an NHL alumni team, you had to represent Colorado, no problem. Now, when the bigger, the story's over, stuff like that. But no, it was never. And I was grateful that I'd never had, like, Calgary was on the doorstep. So
yeah. Nicholas Duncan says Murray should have played baseball. Then he could have played Call of Duty all winter and played baseball during the warm months. I don't know that he would have got $190 million guaranteed from baseball.
Good point by you.
Yeah, it's what it all comes down to that. But just kind of wrapping it up, I'll tell you the one that really crossed my mind when I saw Chase Cota, the receiver from UCLA and Oregon and all that, 6'4", runs a 4.5. Yeah, and the reason he didn't get drafted, right? The route running.
Yeah.
And the receiver the Lions took from North Carolina in the last round, the same deal. Like
Antoine Green.
Yeah, route running is an art form. It's an art form, and you can either do it.
Can you get better?
Can you learn it?
Is that an Antoine Randall L. quarterbacks or wide receivers coach? Did you have, because what I'm speculating again, coming out, right? Why they would sign these guys? Why even drafting them is because they see that they can work with them, and maybe a lot of the times, Neal, they haven't had proper coaching. A lot of times that is you think that these guys and they're going off of all talent. Now, I now looking inside of Allen Park and knowing what we know is there's got to be something to the reason they just don't grab guys like they used to.
Pete Smith says the Oakland A's own the rights to Kyler Murray, so there's zero chance he would get anything other than the league minimum.
That's a good point.
Hey, did you see that, by the way? Side note, that Oakland A's the worst team in the American League, so we got that going for us.
Hell yeah.
Just saying.
Hey, we'll take them over one at a time, D-Mac.
That's it. Small victory, Neal.
I gotta, Spenmo, we gotta play that Instagram clip of Javi Baez against the Orioles.
We
can't. Well.
Oh, that's right, because it's a TV broadcast.
Yeah, it's a TV broadcast. That's nasty.
Was that last night?
No, that was over the weekend.
Oh, okay.
That was 2 feet out of the zone.
The pitch that he swung and missed at.
2 feet.
If anybody didn't see it.
And then it broke to the more out of the zone.
It was about a foot off the plate when it started to break away from him when he started his swing.
Yeah. It was the worst
The
swing
bad
I've
boy
ever
almost
seen.
caught it.
Yeah, it was the worst. It was the worst that I've ever seen. About the route running, though, D-Mac, I don't know. I think that's one of those things like hands in hockey. Can you teach hands in hockey? Really?
No, but you can teach where to go. But no,
But you got to have the feel, though. You know?
But hands would be catching, wouldn't it? I'd relate hands to catching. Route running's just sort of, which lines do you take driving to the net or on your forecheck? Different things like that. More of your forecheck. Like if you see in hockey the way that they'll take New Jersey for example, they implement like a 2-1-2 or whatever like that, where there's two guys flushing the puck. It's all the way. But if you see the breakdowns in a hockey game when a guy's out of position and then there's a 2-on-1 or a 3-on-1. Last night, if you watched that game, I think Jersey had like 9 outnumbered rushes. So it's more or less that's IQ to me, Neal. I think that's more football IQ than it is the talent, because I think that's catching the ball is more like your hands.
All right. People are talking about this in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread, and I did hear this morning as well, straight from Brad Holmes' mouth. And he has had dialogue with Jared Goff's camp.
Mm-hmm.
You guys want to have that discussion? Are we prepared for that right now?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, why not?
All right.
Always prepared.
We're all in, baby.
And we're all in.
Stoked, not scared.
Stoked, not scared.
I'm all in. I'm all in for lunch.
Yeah, something I'm stoked, not scared about for lunch is Cousins Maine Lobster. Because Woodward Sports is brought to you by Cousins Maine Lobster Detroit. Check out their food trucks rolling around the city, offering the tastiest lobster rolls, lobster tacos, and more. Go to cousinsmainelobster.com, search locations, and find out their Detroit schedule, or download the app. Order ahead and earn rewards. You can even scan that QR code right there and figure out where they are rolling around the city. So make sure you check out Cousins Maine Lobster.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Let Guardian Alarm offer you customized solutions from real experts, professional technicians. Take the time to recommend security and automation solutions specific to your needs. But I need you to call Guardian Alarm today. The number 1-800.
Stay out.
24/7 professional monitoring. Call anytime, day or night. Know that a Guardian team member will stay on the phone as long as it's needed. But I need you to call Guardian today. The number 1-800.
Stay out.
Technology backed by people. Yes, real people, flesh and blood. Your safety and security deserves technology that's been proven to work, and people, Homo sapiens, who have been proven to care. They even care about the legend killer, Sam Flannel, and his flannel protection. How many straight days of flannel protection, Sam?
267.
Ooh, inside 100.
Inside 100. 267 straight days of flannel protection. Listen, business, personal, whatever it is, Guardian Alarm will protect it just like they protect his, but I need you to call today. The number, 1-800.
Stay out. Instead of all comment section Steph Curry fans, you know your boy has the same amount of finals MVPs as Cedric Cornbread Maxwell.
Stay out of the first round, Will Levis. That's why you're sitting in the green room with your hot girlfriend.
Stay out of the batter's box, Javi Baez, please, forever.
There it is, Guardian Alarm. We'll save whatever it is. Give them a call today. Your local security officers, tell them Big D Energy we sent you.
All right. It's time to have the discussion, everybody. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal, Ruhl, Darren, McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter here with you. Subscribe to the Woodward Sports YouTube channel. We're it when it comes to Detroit sports media entities digitally. Smashing everybody. That's fact, not opinion. So join the movement. Subscribe to the podcast, however you want to do that as well, wherever you get your podcast, Big D Energy Podcast. And don't forget about the website, woodwardsports.com as well. Dave Burkett not Dave Burkett, but he talked about it on Twitter. The Lions are trending towards giving Goff a new contract sometime in the next 15 months. I heard Brad Holmes this morning say that he has had, quote, has had dialogue with Jared Goff and his camp, and they are beginning those discussions. So everybody needs to wrap their head around this. And Big Dan Davis, talked about the Dave Burkett thing. How much per year are you guys willing to pay Goff? Right here, right now. So let's cut the ish and get into it. I do need some parameters here when we have this discussion. Now, Spenmo, I feel like we'll get the most pushback from you, and that's not a bad thing. You're consistent. I have respect for your takes. You know that.
I appreciate that.
How are we going to are we determining this by AAV of quarterback contracts? Because, look,
I think you need to determine it on all deciding factors.
I'm talking about the landscape, the quarterback money landscape.
Yeah.
I think AAV is the most fair way to go. Or no?
That's fair.
That's a good roundabout. That's perception of the market. That's all of that. Anybody else got any objections with that? We're
do
cool.
AAV.
AAV. Okay,
Yep.
So that's what we're going to do. So let's just look at it as it sits right now, as we go in to 2023. AAV, the highest paid quarterback according to AAV in the league next year will be Lamar Jackson at $52 million. Number 2 will be Jalen Hurts at $51 million. Number 3 will be the 40-year-old Aaron Rodgers at $50.2 million. He'll actually make $59.5 million in cash, by the way. I want to throw that out there. He did not have a 300-yard passing game last year. Russell Wilson, number 4, at $48.5 million. Kyler Murray, number 5, $46 million.
Shots.
Deshaun Watson, number 6, at $46 million. Have you guys heard this list so far?
Yeah.
Number 7, Patrick Mahomes, $45 million.
That's crazy.
Now, Mahomes, though,
he's backloaded.
He is backloaded. He did a very friendly setup, and he took term. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. When someone slides a contract in front of you and it says 10 years, $450 million.
You sign it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Spenny, we're proud of you out here. Exactly. That is the correct answer, sir.
Yes.
Your point being?
He chose term / team friendliness /
Well, look what you just said. Where's Patrick Mahomes? Right? Who's the best quarterback in the league because he's got the stats and he holds the trophy. Where's he at going into next year? 7th, right? It's the same cyclical, right? That's the deal. Remember when he signed that deal, people were like, oh, my God, who's the smartest guy in the building now? Sam? Your guy?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Absolutely. The GM for Kansas City and doing all this stuff like that. So what you're telling me, you got more to go through, or do you want...
No, I will. Josh Allen is 8th at $43 million. Daniel Jones is 9th at $40 million.
And
Matthew Stafford is tied for 9th at $40 million. Dakota Rain Prescott is tied for 9th at $40 million.
That sounds like a good number for Jared Goff.
Derek Carr is 12th at $37.5 million. Kirk Cousins is 13th at $35 million. Jared Goff is 14th at $33.5 million. Ryan Tannehill is 15th at $29.5 million. He ain't going backwards.
No,
so I think we can all agree to that.
So I got a question. Let's go term. Let's go years first. Is this a 3-year deal? Is it a 4-year deal? What are we talking here? Because if you want me to break it down, you better hope, right, that early negotiations and whatever, team friendly is you get them right where Danny Dimes is at 40, right? Because the argument is that you're probably, depending on term, right? So 4 at 40 is 160, right? You go less than that, you're probably going to reach into 45, okay? Just because he's earned it. And if they're talking about it now, right, in the next 15 months throughout this next season, hopefully, Neal, to the fact, and I think that Jared Goff, knowing that he's part of the solution and part of the conversation, is that's where they're thinking. If he got in at 40, I'm asking you, salary cap cap that helps the rest of the team with what we have re-signings or whatever. Is that a good value right there, or what is the most do you think we could go?
Well, I mean,
like
for him to be paid the same amount as, and look, guys,
but
like
isn't that where am I way off there as far as what you're thinking as far as Detroit? Now I don't know. I'm just reading the tea leaves.
I'm closer to 50 than 40.
Okay.
I'm closer to 50 than 40.
See,
but Spenny, all right, let's get real about it then. Let's get real about it.
Wipe the puke off your
Daniel Jones at $40 million. Goff's a 3-time Pro Bowler.
Yeah, and that's a terrible contract.
But is it though?
Yes, it is. Paying Daniel Jones that much money is a terrible contract.
Kyler Murray makes $47 million and Deshaun Watson makes north of $50 million.
And these are bad contracts. So you're comparing these bad contracts to something you want to give him, which would be a bad contract.
Spenny, that's what the market. It's just like your house, man. You get what's going around.
I'm gonna go live in a van down by the river.
Then go ahead and play Hendon Hooker. Go ahead and do it. You know what I'm saying?
I would play Hendon Hooker before I paid Jared Goff $50 million.
So you would trust the rookie deal
yes.
of all this core right now to Hendon Hooker.
Next 2 years from now, next year, whatever. Yes. Overpaying Jared Goff $50 million. Yes.
So right here, right now, that's your choice. Because
if Jared Goff walked up to me and said, "Give me $50 million, or I'm not playing for you," I would say, "See you later. Goodbye. Adios. Sayonara. Arrivederci."
I think he's getting 45. I think you re-sign him for 45 because then you're still saving what? Other than the 50 that you want to get to 3-4 year deal, that's $20 million a year.
Would you pay? Is he worth more than Russell Wilson?
Yes.
No, Russell Wilson's won a Super Bowl.
Is he worth more than Kyler Murray? Is he worth more than Deshaun Watson? This is the reality. You can tell me your feelings. You can tell me your feelings and your emotion.
We do this every time
is the reality.
with the quarterbacks. Go back to Stafford.
Those guys are more talented.
Spenny.
Those guys are more talented.
Spenny.
They are more talented.
He's got guys. He's worked it into the power. This is the quarterback shuffle. So where does it fit in?
So Spenny, let's go 2 years down the road.
Yeah.
And Matt Stafford's still making $40 million a year.
Yeah, like again, comparing bad contracts to it is not something that I'm like, yeah, I want to be there with an awful, crippling quarterback contract where the Rams have to mortgage everybody and get rid of people. Like, that's not something I want to be a part of. That is more proof to why they should not do that.
So you're right here, right now. In 2 years, you're giving the keys to this franchise to Hendon Hooker.
Yes,
that's your play.
If it's that or pay Jared Goff $50 million, yes, 1,000%. 10 times out of 10, twice on Sunday.
So what's the number?
Jared Goff,
yes.
I think in between the Derek Carr and Daniel Jones contract is what I would max out on paying him.
So 40?
Around 40, yeah.
Because that ain't going to get it done, man.
Then see you later.
45 gets it done.
I'm maxing at 40.
But you're a Goff, but that's okay because he's a Goff hater. So
Truther.
40 is like 45. It's like doing conversion
Canadian money.
American currency.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Jake Wegener says, did Spenny, I don't want to pay Goff $40 million per year Rackster, just say 40 was a good number?
I said I didn't say it was good. I said that's the max I would go to, and that's if you love to keep him. Ideally, you get him at that Derek Carr contract.
Sam Flannel?
I'm more aligned with...
See, it's getting real, isn't it?
I'm more aligned with Spenny, though.
Let's go.
Just for the record. I mean, you could maybe talk me into lower 40s, maybe given that he has another great year, but I'm not paying him $50 million. This idea that we should use Russell Wilson and Deshaun Watson's contract as a barometer, I think is a little bit flawed. And for the record, Deshaun Watson is a better quarterback than Jared Goff. He had one bad year. Russell Wilson had one bad year, but he's a Hall of Fame level quarterback who I think is on the downswing. But still, this idea that Jared Goff is significantly better than both of them, I think, is flawed. And
he's better than Russell Wilson here. Right, for the rest of the time, he's better than Russell Wilson.
Absolutely. But are we sure? And you guys are going to laugh, but Spenny, I think you will tend to agree with me on this one. Are we positive that he's better than Rain Dakota Prescott? I'm not.
I'm not.
Why? Because any of the data you use to deconstruct Jared Goff is the exact same data you can use to destroy Dakota Rain Prescott.
Dak Prescott had 37 touchdowns and 10 picks in 2021.
Okay. What did Goff do last year?
29-7.
It's in the ballpark.
And they've won similar amounts of playoff games.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Goff's won more.
Yeah, Goff's won more.
By, like, I think 1, right? I think it's 3-2 or 4-2, something like that. But still.
So whatever metric you got, Goff's better than
No,
Dakota
he's
Rain.
not.
Or Rain Dakota,
Dak
excuse
Prescott
me.
has had 2 30-yard touchdown passes, and his rookie year was phenomenal, albeit with a good system and Zeke Elliott and offensive line. But still, I think it's very, very close. I think we all just, like, laugh at Dakota Rain and just prop up.
Because I think that same thing applies to Jared Goff. Like, dude had back-to-back 4,600-yard seasons. 3-time Pro Bowl. He's a Pro Bowler just as often as he's not in his career.
He had 3 really good seasons, 3 mid-seasons, and a terrible rookie season. So I guess it's kind of comparable. But still, Jared Goff isn't significantly better than Dak Prescott. It's splitting hairs at this point. I think Dak Prescott's a little bit better.
Address him by his name, please.
Rain Dakota.
Okay, thank you.
Gotcha.
I just want to keep it 100 and keep it everywhere. David Mentier says $50 million is going to be a steal in 2 years. That's probably true.
Yeah, is Matt Stafford's contract a steal right now? Is Rain Dakota's contract a steal right now?
I was just told it was.
Is Kyler Murray's contract a steal right now?
That's what kicker with Stafford.
God.
Right? With Stafford's contract. Would you not take it and you're sitting on a Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
so
but I don't think Jared Goff can win us a Super Bowl.
But what I'm saying is that that's
for the Rams.
payoff.
For the
you're
Rams,
willing
that's
to do
fine.
the payoff if you can guarantee that he's a Super Bowl. Then you're willing to see where the Rams are right now with Stafford, right?
Yeah,
that's a payoff since you don't think he's your guy. I think more to the conversation that we watch and get into is, do they think Hooker's their guy in a few years? Right? We'll see how this year goes out because Brad Holmes didn't say he's doing the extension now in the next 12 to 15 months. Maybe they're waiting to see how things play out.
It's a heated discussion.
Right.
It's a heated discussion. There is no doubt about it. And we're going to have this time and time again. There is no doubt about it. Strawberry Festival, in the meantime, that's here to stay.
No doubt
at least
about that.
Temporarily. Spenmo Raxter's a big fan. He's a big breakfast guy. You know he likes the strawberry hotcakes. You know he likes a mouth-watering red velvet waffle as well. If you're not a breakfast person, I personally am not. So I'd have the strawberry bacon chicken wrap. I have had it before. It slaps, as the kids would say. Or you can cool off with the refreshing summer splash salad. And get dessert. This is where D-Mac steps in. Of course he's going to have the regular strawberry pie. That's what started all this. But, of course, also he's going to have the deep-fried vanilla Oreos.
Deep-fried Oreos.
And then he's going to chase it all with the strawberry hot fudge cake. Could you do all 3 of those in a sitting?
Absolutely. Next time we're there, I'll show you.
Got it on the record right there. D-Mac is going to show you Strawberry Fest at your local Big Boy. Get out to your local Big Boy for Strawberry Fest today.
Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically enter for your chance to win not 1, but 2 vehicles of your choice, courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. That's right, 2 cars, 1 for you, 1 for your wife, your girlfriend, or your best bud. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime, sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Let one of our talented, award-winning stylists make you look handsome and clean. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man-meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Back at it, Big D Energy. People are heated. Jared Goff, man, it gets the people going, no doubt about that. Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter. Just discussing it. I heard Brad Holmes say it this morning. There has been dialogue with Jared Goff's camp. And it is a lightning rod discussion. Shout out Jonathan Nickel, by the way, the latest member of the Woodward crew on our YouTube channel. Chris has a question for you, Spenmo.
Yes.
If Goff can't win you a Super Bowl, what makes you believe Hendon Hooker, who 32 teams passed on, injury or not, multiple times, what makes you think he will?
Because you're paying him like, what, $6 million a year? Not even?
Oh,
so you can invest in everything around him?
Get it done.
Because you're not paying him $50 million a year? so you can put Pro Bowlers everywhere on your team?
It's a bold ask, man. To sit here and say, in 2 years, I'm giving the keys to the car to Hendon Hooker.
If Jared Goff wants $50 million, yeah.
So what's your drop dead number?
Anything over 40.
Like you wouldn't split the difference and do 45?
Not a chance.
See, here's the thing, Neal, right? Tell all the kids in the room and at home about how the salary cap goes up, and tell them how that the $50 million is the new $35 million, and tell them that
in 2 years, $50 million will be $40 million on the cap.
Tell them that how it doesn't affect, because what I start thinking about is if I pay my guy $45 million or whatever, I got contracts to Amon St. Brown and Penei Sewell and guys, I won't be able to keep them because I got to pay my quarterback to do whatever. No. Isn't the $45, $50 million the new $35 million? Where does it in the whole scheme of things? And I think there's a math term for this, right? Well, what percentage? It's not blowing it out a percentage. You're not overpaying them, are you? Because of the inflation?
Correct. If you're into
so I mean, it's sort of like the norm, right? You look at like when we're talking about Patrick Mahomes, who just signed that big deal or whatever. Now he's 7th. So what's he going to be after next year?
$50 million in 2 years is the next $40 million, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
So those $40 million contracts that we just all said were terrible this year for Daniel Jones and Rain Dakota Prescott would be Jared Goff in 2 years. So that would equal a terrible contract.
Well, no, because he is a Pro Bowl quarterback.
So is Rain Dakota Prescott.
Right, but Daniel Jones is not.
No, but he could be.
So could Jared Goff.
Tyler Huntley was a Pro Bowl quarterback.
Yeah.
Tyler Huntley was the same level as a Pro Bowl quarterback as Jared Goff. They were both Pro Bowl alternates.
Was Goff a top 3 quarterback in the NFC?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's my only question.
That's not saying much, though. NFC is very weak in quarterbacks.
So my argument, right, where you just nailed it, that the new 50 is the old 40. So if you can get Goff at around 45, you're actually getting him for 38, 37 of today's market, which, right, you're already paying – it's inflation, Neal, and I think that I never understood it instead of working with you for the past couple of years, where it's your gig, it's your stick and stuff like this, where it doesn't really blow it out of proportion as much, does it?
No, because like here's the deal: when they sign another $1 billion contract with Amazon, it's a 52-48 revenue split. I believe that's what it is with the NFL. Say it's 50-50 for easy math. That's $500 million that goes to the players. It goes in the salary pool. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Well,
so that's another $12 million a team right there.
Now I do. That's why I think that like when you think that the salary cap or whatever it is, it doesn't move or you're just pumping up against it. No, this keeps moving. And then when things are done, like you said, the media contracts and all this TV and all this, then it even goes up more and everybody gets more to play with and you get to pay more people.
And everyone starts losing it.
I don't know. It's I think the bigger picture to understand that, right? I think a lot of us don't concept the bigger picture. If I'm always preaching 30,000-foot view, you have to take that into consideration.
Spenmo, would you classify yourself as a Brad Holmes simp like I do?
Yes.
Okay. MMS 1346 says, never forget, Brad Holmes wanted Goff at number 1 overall. He still believes that about him.
And never forget, Brad Holmes hasn't anybody. He doesn't pay. He paid Romeo Okwara and then took back $9 million over the year. So if you think
that was gangster,
yeah, it was gangster. Reached in his pocket and took it out. But if you think Brad Holmes is going to set the market with Jared Goff or pay him $50 million, I don't think so.
So I think he will. And I'm not comfortable with giving the keys to the car to Hendon Hooker after 2 years of not playing. I'm not comfortable with it, man. I'll take the known over the unknown, especially when you're playing with the rookie deals. Hey, especially when you're playing with the last of the rookie deals of St. Brown and Hutch and Penei Sewell and Kirby Joseph, et cetera.
And if you sign Jared Goff to a $50 million contract, you're not going to be able to re-sign St. Brown and Goff, or St. Brown and Hutch and Penei Sewell and Kirby Joseph.
Won't you? Because the money will still be there. It's grown.
Not all of those guys.
Right, but that's played out with everybody. Like you get your window.
Yeah.
Like this is your window.
That's why the 49ers.
That's why you can't.
Such a long window.
But that's why you can't. That's why you can't put it all on Hendon Hooker. You see what I'm saying? Like you're going to risk it on an unknown. That's your window. You don't get that back. Even if.
But you can extend that window by not signing a quarterback who had an above average year last year to a $50 million contract.
take the quarterback out of it, Spenmo. Do you think that in 4 years that they can sign Sewell, St. Brown, and Hutchinson?
Yes, if they're not paying their quarterback $50 million.
The Chiefs got Mahomes on a good deal, right?
Yeah.
45? They couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And they couldn't keep 2 of them.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
That window closes. And by the way, the Chiefs...
Yes, that's my point. The Chiefs couldn't do it.
Right.
And it was with Patrick Mahomes, who's worth it.
And Tyreek Hill. You know what I'm saying? Like, no team is able to keep all those guys.
Yeah, that pay their quarterbacks that much money. Yeah, you're not able to do it.
Like with the 49ers, right? Because Bosa's coming up. Mm-hmm. And we're going to see. He's going to be a $30 million a year.
And they're going to pay him.
Edge. And they are going to pay him. But they had their running back playing quarterback at the end of the playoffs last year.
They had 4 people get injured.
Can I?
That doesn't account into how much you pay somebody if they tear their labrum or whatever.
Who's going to be their quarterback week 1 this year?
Probably
on Nick Bosa's last year of his rookie deal.
Probably Trey Lance.
Probably.
Yeah.
What do you got, D-Mac?
Can you address this, please? Chuck Brewer, one of the OGs here.
Yes.
Neal's, your faith in Brad Holmes has been shaken. It shows. The Iowa Bows have broken Neal. Is that true? Are you shaken? Are you scared? Where are you at?
No, because
you asked him if he's a simp.
Yeah. So yes, because what did I say, D-Mac? I said I'll have faith in it to believe it. The only one that doesn't make sense to me is the Hendon Hooker thing.
And that's because Jake Moody's caught your craw.
No, it isn't.
Is it or no?
No, it isn't exclusively Jake Moody. It's the principle behind the Jake Moody opinion. A 3rd round pick is premium draft capital, man. It's not ultra premium.
Yeah, but you got a premium talent to what's speculated to a guy that addressed a needed situation, but it could also, like Spenny, if you're not a Goff apologist, but the fact that you got Hooker there now makes you feel better, right? Like,
no, this idea, and Paul Thomas says it, like this idea, Hooker equals insurance. Based on what? Like, I love the way, like, you draft this guy in the 3rd round coming off an ACL, and boom, he's insurance. And I saw this too. People sent me tweets. He could be 5-1 in a season as a back. Based on what?
No, he's not going to play, but the insurance is
even if he does
play. For me, it's
play.
The peace of mind. It's more of the peace of mind, what they're telling me out of the Lions camp and headquarters and stuff like this, because this was their guy with the talent. That Brad Holmes, what we've seen in the past, he drafts guys that are hurt. Right? He's done it again. We're counting on Pascal to play a full season, stuff like this. So the fact that the ACL is not an issue, and the fact that he can, because he's addressed it, he came out and said it a million times. So we will see. And the best thing is if Hendon Hooker never plays, that means Jared Goff's cooking and keep cooking, and he's going to get closer to that $50 million, probably playing well.
Now I'll give you this: like if the Hooker thing was the backup. Right? I will take it at this. If you tell me that you're going to draft Hendon Hooker and he's going to be your backup, and that stops me from paying Teddy Bridgewater $7 million or $8 million, you know I'm all on board with that.
That's what
that. Because at $8 million in free agency, look what $8 million could buy you this year.
So I guess maybe the tea leaves, and am I reading too much into it? But that's exactly what they just did.
And
that's what they just did, and the value to the money.
But D-Mac, on this side, though, like Spenny's telling me, and again, Spenny, you know I respect you, man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's not my flavor to say in 2 years, hey, Hendon, bring the car back by 11.
But they
make sure Aiden and Panay are back.
But because it's not fully sold, and now the proof's in the pudding, where the Goff's got to go out and prove it and earn that contract. Because the one thing about Spenny is the fact that if he does win the division, home playoff game, win a playoff game, he'll pay him his money, because then he's proven he's deserved it. He's just not there yet. I'm there because Brad Holmes tells me that I'm there. And you know what? I'm going to worry about other things, because to the point that somebody brought up that he did draft Jared Goff 1st overall with the Rams, right, was part of that. Like, this is his guy. He's brought him here. It's renegotiated. All that, like, either get with it now. Like, it's not going anywhere.
The Lions have a really good track record of former GMs believing in their guys and bringing them here to prove that they were right.
Brad Holmes. Okay, there you go, Spenny. You're getting caught back in the sauce of not giving Brad Holmes the respect he deserves, as Terry Foster said, the greatest GM in Detroit Lions history. That's old behavior.
Here's my problem with the take. Corey Berry says guys come back from ACLs all the time. Yeah, sure. I'm taking the ACL out of the equation.
Yeah.
You cannot tell me. You cannot tell me with 100% certainty that Hendon Hooker can go 5-1 as a backup.
If you took the ACL out of the equation, Hendon Hooker would have been a top 7 pick in the NFL draft, and he would have won the Heisman.
Okay.
So that's not good as
that's
a
still no guarantee he can play
pick.
Though. Kyler Murray won the Heisman and was the number 1 overall pick, and can't get it together mentally. Is that fair?
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying? Like we don't know that.
You don't know. You can say that about every one of them until they get out there and do it.
I think they know it. I don't think they'd make the pick if they knew he was mentally weak.
No, I'm saying no. If the avenue was because they wanted to take him as a backup quarterback to avoid having to give Teddy Bridgewater $7 million, cool. I'm all on board for it. But this notion that you plug Hendon Hooker in and boom, the franchise takes off and goes to the Super Bowl and wins a Super Bowl, I think that's aggressive.
I think you have a better chance of doing it with Hendon Hooker than you do if you pay Jared Goff $50 million.
Yeah, and that's where our disconnect is.
No.
I feel the other way.
It's fair.
I'm taking the known. That's what I'm doing.
Best
I'm taking
part,
the
boys,
known.
we gonna see.
We're gonna see. Like in the insurance game, there's a known.
That is a known. Speaking of the NFL draft, like our draft picks, did the GM do his job? Be a boss and take control of your insurance options. Draft a company that will give you the most cost-effective plan and protect you like the best O-line in the league. Email Swiss Insurance today at mark@swissins.com. That's mark@swissins.com, or go to swissins.com.
And fucking...
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. I know we were supposed to get to the Michigan State stuff. I'm gonna table that. Yeah, I'm gonna table that till tomorrow.
Wait till your nuts come out of your stomach?
Yeah.
Right,
I was seriously laying on the cold hardwood floor in my living room, just
so like a bad hangover.
It was. That's what I had a bad hangover. I did shrooms the night before, and I wake up and it says Keon Coleman after the transfer portal. I was like, God damn it, dude! It was terrible.
You're like, wait, is this the shrooms? Hold on.
Yeah, honestly, I was hoping it.
Yeah,
I was hoping it was.
But it wasn't. We're talking the Jared Goff discussion, and it's heated, as you might imagine, because that's the way it always gets. Chili Damon, the WoodwardSports.com chat thread. So Neal, you wouldn't turn the keys over to Bryce Young. That's apples to oranges, man. Carolina is at the bottom right now, and they're rebuilding their entire franchise. So if we were in that same predicament, yes, I am not this year giving the keys to Penei Sewell's last year of his rookie deal and 20% of Aiden Hutchinson's rookie deal and all that stuff.
It's not this year, though.
2 years from now.
Yeah.
2 years from now, that's what it is. And your answer is to give it to Hendon Hooker.
Rather than pay Goff $50 million, yes.
Yeah. And I'm on the other side of that. I will take what's known. The guy that was a Pro Bowl quarterback
isn't
last
the question
year.
What you would do, right? I'm intrigued with the other $44 million is how are you using that if Hooker is your quarterback, right? To your team that you haven't spent it on Goff, so you've had to pay the rest of your guys, but you've also had to bring other guys in, right, to make you a better team. Doesn't that so that's intriguing.
Because I don't. Here's what it is, guys. I don't want to be the 49ers. I want to know who my quarterback is and what my quarterback has done. And I will tell you this, Flannel, if they do not make a move If they do not make a move at the they cannot win a Super Bowl the way that roster is currently constructed.
Who,
they
the
cannot.
Niners?
The 49ers. They cannot.
I think they could have last year.
But they didn't.
Because of the injuries.
Well, whatever it was.
It was because of injuries.
Okay.
It's not what it was.
Well, we'll never know.
When Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, had them looking like the best team in football on a ridiculous, I think 7 wins in a row going, they would have beat the Eagles if he didn't get injured.
But he did, and they did.
Yeah, and that's not based on how much you pay a guy. Anybody can get injured. A $50 million quarterback can get injured. A known player can get injured. You can't base the argument of that off of the injury to the 49ers.
Okay, so Spenmo, if the 49ers play the Eagles this year in the playoffs, and you had to bet your life savings on it,
and everybody's healthy, everybody's 100% healthy,
Yeah.
I'm taking the 49ers.
Okay, we disagree on that one too. It's a fundamental disagreement. I want to know who my quarterback is. The 49ers do not know who their quarterback is. Right now, the 49ers, Nick Bosa's last year of his rookie contract.
Here's a great point, relevant, but enjoy Detroit. Goff is cooked when Ben Johnson leaves. Is that also too, as we're building into it, that you might get some coaches poached off your roster if you're that successful, right?
We saw what he looked like without him.
There's all these little intricacies that you have to play into. Now, you mentioned Brad Holmes came out today and talked about that there's been conversations and they're in a good spot and stuff like this. So the writing's on the wall. He's not doing it to throw a smoke screen. He's doing it to prepare you guys for what's going to happen. But I do also agree in the chat, he's going to if you get this and it's not like the team friendly thing. The team friendly thing is it's structured to help the team. As we see Patrick Mahomes, everything else. Now even Aaron Rodgers. Oh, wow, what a great guy. The way he restructures his deal. So there's going to be those maneuverabilities in there. It's going to be, and that's why I believe it's going to work, and it's just a matter of time because Brad Holmes is telling you already. So just either be prepared or don't be prepared.
Yeah. Easy money 1978. It's fine. They got Moody. They don't need a quarterback in San Francisco. That is a pretty good one, man.
That's true.
I do like that one. Again, right here, right now, is Trey Lance gonna be the difference? I don't think he is, based on what we've seen. I don't think he is.
I think what Kyle Shanahan did with Brock Purdy, you can easily do that with Trey Lance.
Hey, Spenny, here's a question for you.
You're paying both those guys.
Who would you rather have on your roster, Hendon Hooker or Trey Lance?
With Jared Goff?
That's a toss-up.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
No, right. So what I'm saying is that you're actually in a better position. You put your team in a better position than arguably the odds-on favorite to win the NFC. Just saying. Everybody's got problems.
Everybody does. Can we talk about this Notre Dame thing real quick?
Yeah.
Can we squeeze that one in?
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know how many of you guys saw this. Notre Dame told NBC, their TV deal with NBC is getting ready to come up. 2025, I want to say, is right where Mark Walson says Garoppolo was underrated. The 49ers will find out. I share that sentiment as well. But anyway.
Garoppolo's a turd, man. Get out of here.
They got as close as they ever got with Garoppolo.
Yeah.
He's going to get your favorite stars to the games in Vegas.
That is
you
true.
know that,
That
baby.
is true.
That is true. Just real quickly, I don't know if you guys caught this, though. Notre Dame, their TV deal with NBC is coming up. It expires in 2025. They have told NBC, we want $75 million a year for you to maintain pretty much exclusive rights of Notre Dame football the way that it was, which is in the ballpark of what Big Ten teams are going to get after this Fox mega deal drops. 90-ish million a year. I think the Big Ten teams are going to get. My question is, do they still have that juice? Does Notre Dame still have that juice? And this is where I value Spenmo and Sam Flannel's take on it. Like, aren't the Notre Dame people, aren't they not watching TV anymore?
Yes.
Aren't they not doing a lot of things anymore?
They're watching TV, but they're watching the same show on repeat in a home. Like, the Notre Dame people aren't in the right state of mind to understand what's happening with their football team or a TV deal. Notre Dame does not have that juice anymore. Notre Dame had that juice in the 20s. They don't have it anymore.
Yeah, like the Four Horsemen and like what is it?
So I agree. I don't think it is. But what does NBC counter with? if you're NBC right now, if what he's saying is so true, where you don't have the juice and you guys just say 1965 or whatever it is, what does NBC do? Do they have an alternative? Or
well, no, I think NBC would say that's our demographic. That's who we broadcast to right now.
Right. So Notre Dame, at least they have a grasp on. You can't just ask for $75 million with what's going around the conversation. The Big Ten's getting this. If you want to keep them, is there an alternative? Does NBC have an alternative?
Anybody else?
Do they? Yeah. I mean, or if not, you're just going to continue to see the old, like you said, because of the demographic, because it's ingrained, right? One of the things that is ingrained to people that watch it is Saturday NBC Notre Dame games, right?
Yeah, and Brandon Katz says they have a huge following in the Catholic community throughout the U.S. They will still have a big following, but that following is eroding. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, is anybody juice again with your age demographic? Even in my age demographic,
no.
Like I remember Notre Dame being good, but it was along the time Michigan was good.
Manti Te'o was the last time Notre Dame was good, and he had a fake girlfriend. And then he bummed out of the league.
Remember when they played Alabama?
Yes, and they got absolutely embarrassed.
They did. It's just I was curious about that. Do people think that they still have that kind of juice? And I don't see it. Now, Uncle Neal Saw Feet says Notre Dame hella mid. So that tells you all you need to know.
For sure.
The reason I did read a story that said the reason NBC is interested in it, they do get some runoff of the Big Ten deal. They're paying the Big Ten too. The NBC is to get, that Illinois Purdue game. So they want like they call it shoulder programming, that runs up to it or runs directly.
Sounds like a media
if Notre Dame still had the juice, they wouldn't have coaches leaving them to go to another school. If Notre Dame was still the national powerhouse,
Brian Kelly wouldn't have cut for
Brian
the SEC.
Kelly wouldn't have left and went to the SEC.
Jack Harrington says Notre Dame football died when Lou Holtz left. Do you know Lou Holtz never left a program not on probation? He gets this, love fest about Lou Holtz, and all that kind of stuff. Everywhere he's left that team on probation. Old Lou Holtz, everybody's great guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
He's closer to Jimmy Johnson in terms of, character than he is to, guys who are thought of good
Benny
guys.
Blades told me. I have the audio clip somewhere. I had him on my show when I was doing college radio. I just reached out to him on social media. He's like, yeah, I'll come on. And so he told me the biggest envelopes he got in recruiting were from Notre Dame.
For sure. It's that you're backed by the Pope. You got a lot of money.
It's that Vatican money, baby. They got their own country.
They absolutely do. Let me tell you about Planet Fitness, everyone. It's a great time to join Planet Fitness. It's always a great time to join Planet Fitness, home of the judgment-free zone. We can work out in a non-intimidating, judgment-free atmosphere. Starts at just $10 a month for access to your home club. You want all the perks? The Black Card members. Unlimited use of the amenities, the tanning, the hydro massage, and massage chairs, total body enhancement. Access to over 2,400 locations around the world with unlimited guest privileges. You basically own Planet Fitness. You're an owner. You just walk in anytime, anywhere around the country. You want to join? You should do it. There's over 50 of them around the Metro Detroit area. Pull in the parking lot, join in one there. Or jump on that computer. Go to planetfitness.com. Guys, there is no other alternative in the gym game. I've been a member over 3 years. I don't get a promotional membership. I pay my own money for it, and I still recommend it because it's the best gym in the gym. I'm not interested in paying $60 a month because someone has a rock wall. All right? I want treadmills and weights. I want to get it in. Planet Fitness, that has all the answers for you. PlanetFitness.com. It is Planet Fitness, Darren McCarty.
Where your fitness is essential.
At work and at home. We're there with smarter security solutions, featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Since the dawn of moving people, Chevrolet has led the way. The world of transportation is changing. At Feldman Chevrolet, we are leading the charge forward. with every electric vehicle, every mile traveled, one Feldman at a time. The company that puts more Chevys on Michigan roads is now the #1 name for Chevy electric vehicles.
Final segment of the show, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal, Ruhl, Darren, McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Rachter. Subscribe to the Woodward Sports YouTube channel. Get the Big D Energy podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Real quick, woodwardsports.com chat thread. LFG. Neal, is Notre Dame the Michigan of college football playoff appearances? They're literally the same program. They have their moments, but when it comes down to it, they don't pack the gear to beat the nationally relevant SEC teams. That's an indisputable, undefeatable argument. Right, Sam Flannel?
Unfortunately, that is correct.
Okay, great talk. D-Mac.
Yes.
For the community, the sports community, more notably the Detroit sports community, we've just had our first of the draft season. Now we enter in our second and third drafts here as we approach the summertime months. You are of the opinion, I share the opinion, that some things are required of us as Detroit sports fans. We have a couple of very important lotteries coming up. So, D-Mac, you wanted to command the floor to give instructions to the Detroit sports community. D-Mac, what should we be doing?
Well, just putting it out there, and this is just a suggestion. And we're going to address the Detroit Red Wings wing-wheel nation, whether you're a fan or want to see them back to glory or doing whatever. And I have to preface this with, okay, if Steve Eisen really is a wizard and stuff, he should be able to get that first or second bingo ball in next Monday's NHL lottery draft to fall for him. But I'm not going to really rely on his sorcery. I'm going to look to you guys out there and everybody who cares, right? So tonight and for the rest of this week, we're going to focus on the Red Wings. We'll focus on the Pistons later. This is about the Red Wings until those bingo balls go Mondays for the next week. When you put your head on your pillow to thank whoever, whatever you thank for another day on this planet, will you please just for a moment look to the hockey gods and just say, hey, you know what? Stevie deserves it. We sort of deserve it. We've been through it. I understand, if it's not meant to be, it's not our path. But hey, how about a little extra for the wing-wheeled nation? So throw that out there. It can't hurt. A little bit of togetherness. And who knows? We, us, you, me, all of us can make a difference. Because no matter how great one person is, they can never do it alone. Doesn't hurt. We'll move on. We're going to address the Pistons as it gets closer. But please join me in the nightly prayer to the hockey gods.
I'm going to pray to the drowned God that we get Connor Bedard.
There, whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes, bro.
Whatever it takes, man.
So thank you. Thank you for
Sport,
that.
Absolutely.
Thank you, D-Mac.
Yeah. Thank you, D-Mac.
No, thank you.
Sebastian Chose says, Neal, how about the Joker last night? Phoenix cooked, as I said they would be.
That was bomb.
As I said they would be from minute one when they traded for Kevin Durant and everyone's anointing them as champions. I said to you guys, what's the chance that Durant and Chris Paul play every playoff game together?
Yeah.
Virtually none.
Does anybody came out and said what's wrong with Chris Paul?
Groin.
Oh. I feel like he always has one of those.
Yeah, that's not good.
So that is it. And oh, by the way, I know Phoenix is cooked because the Joker was able to drag Jamal Murray along with them last night. Because Jamal Murray has 2, sometimes 3 for 15 games in a playoff series. He was great in game 1, awful in game 2, and Denver got away with it.
Sounds like he's the Anthony Davis to the
$100%.
LeBron.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Jamal
that in
Murray
there.
and Anthony Davis, come on.
He doesn't wear jorts walking into the game.
So he's actually better than Anthony Davis. Good Lord.
So he averaged 37 in the first round.
I know.
That's pretty good.
Right. But he's 3 for 15 last night, and the Joker reached back and dragged him across the finish line. Joker was brilliant last night. Brilliant.
Absolutely.
And again, real quick, Joker greater than Data Davis, right?
Sure.
Okay.
1,000%.
And he never wears jorts.
That we know of. He's
But
from Serbia. He could be wearing jorts
If
and
he's wearing it around
Bears.
the farm, though, that's cool.
Yeah, yes.
When you wear it into the arena, it's not cool.
Yes. I'm with you on that.
Is that fair?
That is fair.
Denver, man. Hey, real quick, Sam Flannel. Lakers Warriors tonight. Your guy LeBron.
Yeah.
You scared?
No, I'm not. The only way that I will be nervous is if the Lakers drop a home game, they're screwed. But until then, I have confidence.
Well, if they don't drop a home game and don't win on the road,
That's
they still
true.
lose.
I think they could win one. I think they're going to split these first two. I think that's fair. I'm not worried yet.
He's worried.
So was that series over Memphis an impressive victory for LeBron and the Lakers?
I would say so.
Even though you talk, I said this on Heavyweights yesterday, and you weren't there to defend yourself, so I want to give it to you now. You talked about Steph Curry being the luckiest player of all time, having a bunch of people get hurt, but you just yourself said that was an impressive victory over Memphis, who was without 3 of their top 5 players and a one-handed Ja Morant.
Okay, that's fair, but when I'm talking about Curry's lucky accomplishments, I'm talking about series missing Kyrie Irving, Kevin Love, Chris Paul missing 2 games, Kawhi Leonard, Ja Morant. I'm talking about stars. I'm not... Brandon Clark, Steven Adams, they're obviously very, very impressive rotational pieces, and then you got Ja Morant, who missed a game and was not himself, but he still played. And just for the record, Anthony Davis, that defensive performance this series, he should have won Defensive Player of the Year over Jaren Jackson Jr. with that performance.
All right, that's enough. That's enough, everybody.
Wow.
Real quick.
You let that argument. Pull that car over quicker next time.
Real quick, LFG. I'm afraid to look. Did the Tigers have last night off, or did they lose? They had last night off, but they'll lose tonight for you. On pace for 60 wins, by the way, even after that winning streak. And too bad we can't show you the swing that Javi Baez had.
Yeah.
Just imagine it. It's worse.
Look it up. It's
Imagine it. It's worse.
Imagine the worst swing you've ever seen.
And it's worse.
And it's worse than that.
The
Hey,
ball's over where Neal is.
We'll be back at it tomorrow, everybody. For D-Max, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter, I'm Neal Ruhl. Thanks for tapping in. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Well, see you later. Good job, man.